So here we go.
Here we go.
15.
Number
Here
15.
we go. Ah, Jesus Christ. Fucking hell.
Play it, play it.
Well, so this will be fun. Who's seen Suzume?
I have.
Suzume.
Nobody's seen it. Oh well, Chris, tell us about it. Wait,
Maybe he'll convince me.
I've seen Suzume.
What was it like, Chris? Was it good?
It's okay. It didn't make any of my lists. I don't know.
Not even your top 15?
No.
First up is another
Dude, those fucking intro
gorgeously
tiles are
animated-
like 7 seconds. So
How many minutes are we at? We're 3 minutes and 14 minutes into a 14-minute video, and he's just starting his list.
We're
It's
getting to the
about to
first
give
of
us- yeah.
15, that's right.
It's star-crossed romance from Makoto
Tell me what star-cross
Who was-
means, Chris.
Shinkai. Filled with dazzling sequences and state-of-the-art animation, Suzume evoked emotions.
So it looks
I
worse
didn't
than the
know
old
could
ones?
be
Okay.
stirred
Oh my
within
god,
me,
it's like an
especially
AI of Chris Stuckmann reading.
it made him feel. It made him feel emotions.
Oh, what kind of emotions?
Maybe we'll get that. Hang on.
Human ones.
I want to go too deep.
Human emotions. Human. What emotions? Human.
You can
Human.
say
So
prime
state-of-the-art
primary, late
animation
primary-
just means a mixture of like CGI.
Well, that's the thing,
graphics.
isn't it? It's like
Yeah,
that
right.
state of the art is just replacing really good. It sounds better than that.
in me,
Yeah.
especially when you consider that the primary relationship involves a chair.
What? Is it?
I gotta see that. Whoa, stop everything. I have to see that movie. He talked me into it. Damn, that was convincing.
This is the problem is right. The problem is the people that watch him for whatever reason. Like he's got no incentive to put any effort into his videos because people
was funny.
just keep watching them.
This was f***ing worthless.
I hear somebody read a f***ing list.
What are we supposed
Like
to do with this?
verbatim.
I mean,
no
condensed summary,
opinions.
but it's not the condensed summary. But that review was, this is a film by so and so that involves a chair. Moving on.
That was it. Barbie thing that
If he
was
was
just
my
a reference
favorite
to
creator,
Barbie.
and I would see this like, okay, now what? Should I watch it?
Yeah, at this point, I
State-of-the-art
guess you have to go on
animation
faith.
involves
You're
a
like,
chair.
I guess I'll just check it out. Yeah, okay. All right, I assume nobody here thinks this should be on anyone's top list, but
I
that's
haven't
okay.
even seen it.
No.
I am
thought
it was-
genuinely not surprised that this is on Chris Stuckman's
I'll be honest with you, I'm
best
not
of
surprised
list.
either.
I'm surprised it's not higher.
Surprised it's number one. But, you know,
It's a nice, safe, corporate-approved opinion to have there, Chris.
Come on, let's get a 10-second summary of Barbie. Here we go.
I can't believe these tiles.
Bad.
Fucking long-ass tiles.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
You could have doubled the review size.
Barbie's a movie about a doll who comes to life and goes into the real world.
No, that's
Number
way too
13.
long a detail.
Whoa, Gary, calm down. He doesn't usually go that deep dive.
And it's
okay?
now a part of the real world.
This is the video version of padding an essay to make a word count.
Yes,
You're told in the class,
exactly.
like, you got to write 1,000 words. This is all he's doing. It's just padding.
I get
Yeah.
accused of
Yes,
that all the time.
Chris
Increasing
Stuckmann
the font
never
size to
used
72.
college rule on his essays, that's for sure.
Highest
Buying a
grossing movie of the
t-shirt.
year was technically based
Hold up, I just realized it's 2024 almost now. I need to explain the reference. All right, so
What is
notebook
happening?
paper typically comes in two sizes, which is wide ruled and college ruled. All right, college ruled, the line,
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
more lines on the page with college ruled. So that means if you have to write a bunch of stuff for pages, you want to use wide ruled because there are less lines. Back in the olden days when we used to have to, Gary will
Yeah.
understand the reference of paper.
Oh, well,
But
Gore,
we used
he's
to
older
have
than
to
me.
write things on paper at school.
I remember.
We did.
I remember.
Some of us still
That's-
use it.
It's an old timey reference to paper. Oh,
Now tell us
off
about
of
the
a
onion you
movie,
tied to your
but
belt.
Greta Gerwig's charming film did everything it possibly could to differentiate itself from the doll's origins to create something genuinely original. I've been saying this since
everything it possibly could. They couldn't have possibly done anything different to differentiate it.
To differentiate it from the brand of Barbie, that's not an
I thought-
observation.
which
that
is
I
not
would
at
make.
all
I was going to
true,
say,
by
I'm
the
not even
way.
sure I
I
buy
thought the
that.
whole,
Look
I
at
thought the
this-
whole
look
pull
at
of the
this
aesthetic
house.
of this movie was that it was heavily based
Yeah,
around
If you're going to have a Barbie
Everything
film,
Barbie.
this is kind of what you come close to envisioning. In fact, this is part of the reason why I was like, oh, look at that. They did that. That's kind of cool.
Mhm.
See how far they take it. And I was like, oh,
Wait,
Yeah.
maybe he's gonna shed more light on this.
maybe.
Let's hear.
Can,
Well, we're
can
halfway
you
through
do
the
a
review
genuinely
now, right?
original movie on
Yeah.
a pre-existing
I
property?
think we're 3/4 of the way through the review, actually.
Fuck me.
It's almost over. Running out of time.
July. Let Ryan Gosling perform at the Oscars. Hell, Give him one while you're at it.
Oh.
All right. Well, that was that. They couldn't have done anything better. Give Ryan Gosling an Oscar.
Was that
Give him
20
an Oscar.
seconds?
No, it couldn't have been that
perform.
much.
At the Oscars.
That's
I feel like the intro thing
I am
was
so
like half
excited.
the length of that.
I actually think he's timed it so that he can use just one continuous piece of trailer footage and not get a copyright claim. It's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
short.
My God.
I am overwhelmed with joy.
He did this on purpose. There's no way. So, who here has seen Dream Scenario?
I didn't even know it
I
existed.
haven't seen it
Very
yet.
good.
I want to see
Very
it.
good.
I want to see
It's
it.
very-
The trailer looked interesting. Isn't everyone's having a dream when Nicolas Cage is in it, basically?
Nicolas Cage infects everyone's dreams around the world without explanation, and it's very fun.
Well, that's not
It's
a
the
movie.
best
That's just
Nicolas-
reality, though.
That's true, but it's the best Nick Cage movie this year because he releases like 15 of them.
Well, second best.
They should do top 15 Nick Cage movies. That would be more exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, if we get like
I
7
wanted to
minutes out of
get back
that.
to
You should have been in Bobby.
This dumb
They should've.
T-shirt. Either if his mom bought him the T-shirt, I forgive him for wearing it. If he bought that T-shirt for himself, he's an asshole. So,
Wait, Nicolas Cage or Chris Stuckmann?
oh, I'm talking about Chris.
I'm going to lean toward he's an asshole.
Nicolas Cage has had an eclectic career that can't be
Define
characterized.
No way.
Chris, you
That
can't
is
spend
correct,
a third
Chris.
of the review saying that
Hey.
Nicolas Cage has had a career. Come on. We gotta go.
We know that because when you say Nicolas Cage, we know who
Everyone
you're
knows
referring
who
to.
Nicolas Cage is.
And Dream Scenario will go down as one of his best roles. We live in an age where everyone has something to say about so-called
Except you.
cancel culture. But I've never seen a film
What? This is an
tackle
AI
the
generated
subject
script.
so succinctly and hilariously.
That's it.
Oh my God.
Nothing about the performances. Nothing about the characters. It's like,
You know
this
what
is
else
good.
do?
Next.
I am
I've been
sold.
doing it
I am
all wrong.
sold.
It's almost a meme. Like, this is what you'd do to make fun of him, but you wouldn't change anything.
I don't like what I'm seeing on the screen right now, Mia Play.
I gotta say,
Well, this could be the
Don't need to
controversial
John
one.
Wick.
If Stuckman likes it, then it's good.
I have
and
a
it's worth
feeling
seeing.
we might be split directly, like half and half, for people who dislike this movie, people who like it. So it's all good, all right?
I like it.
Nothing is good right now.
Sucks.
I mean, I thought it sucked too. John Wick
I
1
don't care what you think.
forever.
I liked it because I thought it was good. There, I've just done stuff
Whoa,
for
calm
for him.
down there.
Features Keanu Reeves.
Oh my goodness.
That is my review.
He didn't even say it's good. It's just implied because it's on the list.
What do we
Yeah.
think he's going to say in 2 sentences?
He's going to say the
about,
act. He's got to mention the
Keanu
action
Reeves is an
and Keanu
actor
Reeves,
who
I guess?
starred in The
and then
Matrix.
Keanu Reeves, yeah, and
there was
and
choreographed
he'll find
action.
a way to. Oh, he didn't mention the director of the last film actually, so maybe he won't mention the
Damn.
director for John
Well,
Wick
he
4.
forgot.
He couldn't. There was like a 7 seconds take up by the title screen. You know, you got to.
Which I gotta say,
Well, we still
like,
got
I
another
don't know what
second
it
here
is,
to
but
go.
there was like some weird dissonance between like this stock hype music and just like a still image that he pulled from Google, just like sitting stationary on the screen.
Very
There's like a
hype.
weird clash there.
Yeah,
he
like
does a
he's like, get
he does a
fucking
very
hype,
slight,
bros.
Like, zoom out, you know, so you get
Oh,
real
does it do a
movement there.
slight zoom out? Because I could barely tell. I was looking at the last one. I was like, is this zooming a little bit just to get a little bit of movement in there?
I think the Barbie one moved slightly.
Let's see how big the muzzle, like the flash. What's that? The muzzle flash? Yeah, there
Muzzle
on the
flash.
gun. Let's see how big.
Which
that
is odd
gets.
that he has a suppressor and it's still showing muzzle flash, but that's right.
Well, hey, look, right, Rags, it's cinematic.
Rags, John
okay?
Wick has always been hyper accurate for
and
weapons.
it's also really
the
weird that the
destruction they
slide
deliver.
isn't being pushed back by the bullet being fired and there's no
Right.
casing flying through the air. But you know what? That's fine.
Cinematic.
It's only a movie about guns, so whatever.
Gun Fu
Gun Carter. I think you'll have you find.
and Bulletproof Suit.
But yeah, so the bet is he's going
yeah.
to mention John Wick in the action. I don't
Nobody
think
shoots him
and the
in the head.
director.
I mean,
You mean he's gonna mention Keanu Reeves in the
100%.
action.
Keanu Reeves
what I meant by the
plays, I'll
actor.
tell you.
Oh yeah, I'm not very good with everything.
So is
I
there
thought
anyone
you
else?
said
I guess.
John Wick.
Oh, he might mention blind dude Donnie Yen, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
Donnie Yen might be
possibility.
lucky enough to get a mention.
Candy and Donnie are actors in this movie.
Oh, it's zoomed out a
Okay,
little
so
bit.
there was a
Still going. It's still going.
Okay.
We're almost there, folks.
There
Get
you
ready.
go. Right. The dissonance is dissipating.
Keanu Reeves may
first word.
closed out his
there you go.
tenure
Right,
as the God Mode hitman, responsible for some of the
Well, not
gnarliest
really. He's just
kills
really
ever
lucky
put
that
to
no one ever
screen.
hits him,
A
but-
masterwork
Yeah.
of blood and
Ugh.
bullets. John Wick 4 somehow bested
Sucks.
each film that came before.
Don't
it.
you
don't know
fucking
about
take
that.
that back. Take
It
that
made
back.
more money?
Okay.
Maybe he means it made more money.
Maybe.
Maybe it means
No,
something.
No.
I think he means it's better than all of them.
No.
No.
I think that's what he
Oh.
means.
John Wick 1 supremacy.
Yeah.
Top-down sequence, as well as a treacherous trek up a staircase.
Oh, fuck.
No,
off.
don't mention the
treacherous
staircase.
trek
That's
up
the
a
fucking
staircase.
clown
Kinda
scene
funny.
of the clown movie.
The clown case.
Like, I know that he's barely said anything, but he's already said more about this than all the other films.
I was
and
gonna
the
say,
honorable
yeah.
mention.
It still has only been Keanu Reeves or action. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Say you want
Well,
some
he
Donnie
had
Yen
specific
mention.
Donnie
details
Yen's
though about
action scenes,
specific
though.
scenes.
That's
wow.
actually a fair
This is
point.
an intense breakdown right
Not
now.
only
That's
that,
right. Mentioned
he
this
got the
scene.
visuals from the trailer to match what he said.
Well, he didn't really with the top-down bit, but you know, okay.
Well, that's a lot of work to
nobody's-
ask now. Come
it's-
on.
Yeah,
It's
you have to go
mainly
and search
because-
for that specifically.
It's maybe because he actually watched this movie. I'm not sure he watched
Oh my
everything on this list.
God.
He was awake for this one.
Okay,
Someone
and
in
back-
chat just said John Wick dates the
There were
chair.
too many gunshots for him to fall asleep.
Yeah, Chris, has this one got a chair in it?
Yeah.
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 down
It's a
it.
chair.
Will be
It's a
remembered
chair.
as all-timers for the genre.
He didn't mention Donnie Yen.
Wow.
I feel bad.
Really?
Yeah.
And he didn't mention the director.
But it's an
What's going
all-timer.
on, Chris?
Yeah, no director.
This was
mentioned.
one of the movies of all time.
Also,
So
this
this
is pretty
one-
funny. This is pretty funny.
So
to
what's
me.
what's very funny is Dead Reckoning is like in my probably would be in my worst set of the
Yeah.
films for the year, but probably still sits at like number 20 of worst. But I really didn't like this. As a huge fan of Fallout, okay,
That was
It's
biggest
just
fan of
crazy how
Fallout.
much worse how like Fallout is so much better. It's so much
Well,
better.
Dead Reckoning was when we came out of watching it, we were like, and then when we finished our 7-hour look through, we were like, good god, it's like
Yeah.
there's so much.
Yeah, it just became worse
Oh,
and
but,
worse.
but he knows Christopher McQuarrie. He will mention that.
Yes, he'll mention
He'll
it.
talk about Tom Cruise
Yeah.
doing stunts.
The motorcycle stunt. Yeah.
He'll say like that it was like cinematic and epic. That would be like if I had to guess. So it'll be three
This
things.
movie
he would say.
was directed by Christopher
Breathtaking stunts.
McQuarrie. Oh wow, Christopher, that's my name. That's very
Starring
interesting.
Tom Cruise, probably the biggest movie star in Hollywood, and he did a motorcycle stunt.
Proving that
Not if you
action
sort them by
movies-
height, though.
It'll be funny if he says like it's still rock solid and beloved or something when it's like had a really poor performance in the box office compared to what they wanted. I wonder if he'll incorporate that or not.
Well, to the point that they've changed
like
the
it.
name of the second one, right? They're not going to call it Dead Reckoning Part 2.
The final chapter.
Oh right.
That's so
Dead Reckoning
awkward.
Part 2, the
They're gonna
final
have
chapter.
to surely
Dead,
you can't
Dead
have
or
part
Reckoning.
1 in your cycle and
And
then
then
no
no.
part 2.
I know, I know. But it's like a marketing thing. If the first
Yeah.
one didn't do so well, then Part 2's probably going to
Just-
struggle, isn't it?
They're just trying to
Die
scrub out the
Reckoninger.
part 1 from all past
They're trying
like
to
streaming and
pretend it's
everything.
like you don't need to watch the last one. You don't need to watch it. You'll be fine. But how can they remove it? It's in the film, like Part 1, the text in the title screen.
Yeah.
It's like the inverse issue of like, George, did you mean to make this Star Wars movie Episode 4? Is that a typo there? They're like, no.
All I can do is play more. 20 years later.
I'm going to have to drop out sadly before the delights of this one. I'll never get to know Chris
No.
Stuckmann's opinion on it. I'm so sorry.
I hope you live.
We'll love you.
I
and miss
honestly
you.
wish you guys the best of luck getting through the rest of this video
Thank
because I
you.
suspect you might need it. Good luck with your
I
sanity.
think we can
and I
pull it
hope
off. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
catch
Enjoy your tell us how your Factor 75 meal was next
Yeah,
time.
Oh, I
please
can't
do.
wait. I'll have undercooked chicken with some slop on top, please.
The slop is the best part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, good luck to you guys and have a
Bye.
fantastic new year.
Bye. Toodaloo.
Tom Cruise continues to
There
push
you
it
go.
to the limit with his
Yes.
signature franchise.
Yes.
And while this
Got to mention
Oh, wait,
Christopher
he didn't say
McQuarrie. Come
stump
on.
Push it to
century
the
was
right.
not the
Yeah.
mere
Mention the director.
perfection of Fallout, this series is just so phenomenal that even a relatively good entry can still be ranked alongside the best action films ever made. The entirety
Relatively
of the
good.
So
Was
there
it
is an acknowledgement
relatively
there
good?
that it's not quite up
It's
to
not as good
snuff.
as
Huh?
Fallout.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But that's the way he frames it now because it can't be critical.
finale is classic white-knuckled grip your armrest
Bare
tension.
knuckle?
White
This is the
knuckle. Everybody fucking says that.
Yeah, that's
White
when you're like
knuckle?
gripping so hard.
I've never
knuckles
said
go-
that in my life.
It's
Why's it
racial
gotta be white
commentary
knuckle?
from Chris Stuckmann.
boring.
Why is it gotta
nice,
be white
boring
knuckle? What the hell, dude?
observation.
kind of
Yeah.
movie people think of when they say they don't make them like they used to. As it turns
Good?
out, sometimes they still do.
Oh wow, he didn't mention Christopher McQuarrie.
No
There you go.
director.
Come
Yeah,
on.
that was
Director this
mainly
time.
just action, and I
Okay,
assume
so
that's
that-
what he's talking about when he says all that.
That's 3 movies. Maybe the trend is not naming the director.
I think it's only whenever he has just 2 things to say. Oh no, 1 thing to say.
Oh, what? That like it's a sign of immense desperation when he names the director. Because
Yeah, like when he's
that
like, all I
means
have to
that
say
he
is it's
really has
good.
Nothing to say.
Wait a minute, who directed it? Oh, there we go. I'll say that.
Ah, that's
But you-
interesting.
You got to name the DP. That's how you really convey that you're in the film.
Yeah,
loop.
that's right.
Right.
Have you guys heard of cinematographers? I have. I'm a film
Wait,
guy.
DP
I'm a
is director of
filmmator.
photography.
Director of photography.
That's right,
So
yeah.
the cinematographer.
So shouldn't it be DF for photography?
Well, no, because
You would
that's
think.
not how.
It's something to think about. It's something to think about. I'll just leave
I
that
don't
there
think
and let
it
everyone
is.
think about it. Yeah,
I think so.
something to
Those
think
Americans,
about. That's
Springy,
for
they
sure.
spell everything fucked up, so we're just gonna deal with it. Also,
Mm.
Zone of Interest. Chris, have you seen this one?
Yes, I have.
What do you think?
It's I mean, it's dark. It's really dark.
Hmm.
So
Well, Chris
and
will
it's
say
about
that
it's
then,
about
right?
yeah. Well, it's basically about a German commandant who lives with his family outside of Auschwitz.
Ah. Well, that's,
And yeah, I don't know. It's
So that's a fucked up premise for a comedy, but all right.
it feels more like an experimental film because you just see this family doing mundane, boring things, almost documentary like, and then the sound in the background is all of the sound of people being murdered inside Auschwitz, but the family is so immune to it they just don't hear it.
Oh.
So I don't know how
on the
Chris
Martin Amis
Stuckmann
novel,
is
isn't it? Which is itself kind of experimental because you've got 3 narrators, multiple time skips, and it's Martin Amis who writes like voice novels anyway, so like it's a tricky one to adapt, I'd guess. But since in the start of this review, though, I think I'll just say that the book was good and it made me feel stuff.
Yeah, it's notable for its sound design. The film, I don't know. I'm surprised Chris Stuckmann is even mentioning this film. It seems beyond his capacity to understand.
Well, considering
Zone of Interest is the that what would Chris Stuckmann mean? He'd be the zone of boredom, the zone of
wow, that's
Disinterest.
nice.
Yeah,
Good
I was
one.
about to
Wow,
say,
anyway.
zone of disinterest, right?
The Zone of Disinterest would probably be the one to go for. But I was just going to say that knowing that he within his scope of assessment, you get maybe a mention of something that happens, maybe a mention of something that is in there, like a character, who directed it, and who is acting in it. Which of those 4 will be mentioned here? Probably. It is. Is it? What kind of film? Like, there's no action in it. So he's probably just going to mention it's harrowing, maybe, or has a lot to say. He'll say it has a lot to say.
Yeah, what's the key word?
And you'd be like, "What does it have to say, Chris?" He's like, "A lot."
Jesus.
So sick of it already.
Oh,
the white bar at the bottom.
It's it's the nostalgia critic thing we had on that
Yeah.
Halloween when he took 10 years for each fucking title screen.
Returns to directing 10 years
All right, director mention.
after Under the Skin to deliver a searing and ultimately terrifying portrait of complicity. His voyeuristic camera captures a family that lives directly outside the walls of a concentration camp and watches from afar, never in close-up, as they go about their lives, hearing the horrific sounds of death just mere feet away. It's the best sound design of the year, and a film filled with shocking moments that will churn your stomach.
Well, he said
That's
something
the
about
most-
sound design.
Like, that was the
Yeah.
most that he had to say on any film so far.
Yeah.
Most
He's
of it,
approaching he's approaching bare minimum.
I mean, yeah, like
Because,
it's still not much at all.
I almost
but it's
said,
more than what he said for the other ones.
like, what about the sound? And I was like, no. Come on. He mentioned the sound design. That's enough. So, I should start saying Chris Gore instead. The Artifice Girl. Have you seen this?
I actually have not seen that, but
All
also
right.
I object to just using the name Chris. It's giving Chris's a bad name. Chris's are
Yeah.
Can you just say Stuckman?
I can. I will try.
I think you're.
How many
you're calling on
artificial girl movies have we had this year?
I don't know.
Seems
Name
like
them.
a lot.
How many have we had?
Poor Things.
I don't know.
Creator.
Was Mithrigan
this,
out this year, or was that last year?
Mithrigan? Yeah. The Year of Artificial Girls. Sounds like Hollywood just wants to
Mithrigan,
make
is that the prequel to Expendables?
Oh no, that's on no one's list.
I was about to say, I'm starting to wonder if we were the only people on planet Earth that saw Expendables.
Well, we talked about it, kinda.
Expendables was magical.
Yeah, everyone should watch our
Sylvester
review
Stallone
of
sat down,
Expendables, and we
guns-
don't talk about the movie basically at all.
We talked about Mortal Kombat and other things.
Zelda or something.
I tried to bring it back, but it was like,
But why
nah.
would you?
Yeah,
Why would you?
I've been stopped.
You made the right choice.
Newcomer Franklin Rich made the
Director.
ultimate.
You know, it's getting, it is weird if he doesn't mention the director. It's like, why didn't you?
Yeah, because
Yeah, do you
now
hate him or
now
something?
it's gone back around to the trend being naming the directors.
indie movie. One that, like Clerks, El Mariachi, Primer, and even the Blair Witch Project, should inspire countless filmmakers to realize that it can, in fact, be done. His low-budget film is one of the best scripts of the year, and although I find this word extremely
It's
overused...
number 9?
Why do you need a why? He's done the what?
Oh, yes, that's right. It is the best. One of the best scripts of the year.
And it'll inspire
You don't
many.
need to know why.
I think
Yeah,
he
that's
said
right.
the filmmaker was a friend of his.
Oh.
I think he said that in the past.
Okay.
Oh, well, moving on then.
Who was that, Lance Henriksen?
It is also timely.
Oh, all right, there you go.
Oh, it's cool. It's timely.
I was half expecting him to say some more, but yeah, okay. That's not what it
It will
is.
inspire countless filmmakers that it can in fact be done. What the fuck is it? What can be done from this film?
Being.
Countless.
It is being. It is.
Making a good low-budget movie, maybe? I don't know.
Whoa, that's very generous of you, but yes, probably.
Hey, I'm just guessing here, right?
Well, he's definitely mentioning Martin
Well, yeah,
Scorsese.
how could this not get on the
And then
list?
he would say that this is like one of Leonardo DiCaprio's best performances or something like that as well.
And
I imagine.
it shows us that cinema isn't dead, and the
Oh, and
blah blah
he'll
blah.
will he mention Robert De Niro?
Maybe
Maybe.
alongside
Maybe.
DiCaprio, maybe yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Scorsese has done it again.
All right, honestly though, I
believe
think
it?
we've covered everything he's going to say, but let's find out.
I have to hear the sound.
Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro
Ding.
re-team with
Oh,
Martin
yes.
Scorsese
Ding.
to tell the
Yes.
often overlooked story of the Osage Nation and the murders that took place in the 1920s.
It was an animated
Lee
the Osage.
Gladstone, despite being surrounded by legends, gives an Oscar-worthy performance.
Yes.
And
Mentioned it
Scorsese
too.
once
Good.
again
Best
directs like
performances.
he's in his 20s.
He
Oh,
said, he
what does
basically
that even
Scorsese
mean?
does it again.
All right. Wow,
didn't,
that was really
He
accurate.
didn't mention anything in broad meta even. We had to go. We just had to go. We had no time.
Amazing animation and art.
Miles Morales'
What
story
sort of-
is incredible. Like, it's an amazing Spider-Man arc.
Uh,
What else
Yeah.
would you say?
Gasoline special effects, cutting edge
Is
technology.
he going to mention that it's Phil Lord? Oh wait, they didn't direct it. They were producers. No.
Yeah. Do you think he'll go as
wonder if
far
it-
as to say it shows that animation can make it in the bowl? Or do you think that's too much
yeah,
right
when you
now?
say something- Well, yeah, that one's complicated because on the one hand, that could be something that he could say that would be silly.
Yeah.
Like just telling him of like where he's at when it comes to animation. It's like, oh wow, it took you this long. But
What's funny is I thought Killers of the Flower Moon was going to get more time, but now I'm like,
Yeah.
because we're coming
we're about
down, you know.
halfway through, we're
Yeah.
running out of time. But I guess it means that it is
In
going
a
to
way-
get more lopsided, right? The
I was going to
films
say, in a
will
way,
get
we're getting more time because
Yeah.
he's going through them so fast.
He's racing through them so fast that now we're halfway. So I think it was about 3 minutes that he started actually listing. It was like 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So that means in 3 minutes he's covered 7 films, right?
Yeah, the
15
top
minutes
14. You're right. Yeah.
films.
So yeah, the rest of the films are getting more time now.
Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, well.
Unless the
I guess
outro
that
is
makes
really
sense.
long.
Yeah.
now the
Be real
sponsor out.
long.
Don't forget Factor 75.
It's gotten the most info of anything else. And he got paid for it, so interesting.
The best superhero movie of the year by far.
I mean, what is the competition this
yeah,
year?
the competition is not great.
The
Guardians-
Marvels, Quantum
Guardians
Mania, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Uh-huh.
Blue Beetle.
I mean, it's like
I-
all the DC movies.
I guess it is.
I'm trying to think like what would have been in it. Chat, help me out. The Flash? No, come on.
Fuck no.
Oh, that goes without saying. But I mean, apart from that,
Aquaman 2? No. Black Adam wasn't this year.
No,
it's all a blur. I don't blame y'all. It's all a blur.
Yeah.
Superhero movies sometimes.
Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon. Yeah. It basically is a
superhero
superhero movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I can agree with that.
Spider-Verse took everything great about the first film and cranked
And
the
made it
dial
worse.
to 11.
It made it worse.
Yes,
Where the
cranked it up
term
to 11. Yeah,
superhero
you're right.
fatigue
Yes.
could not be escaped. The team behind the Spider-Verse movies proved that there's still plenty of life left in superhero movies.
I'm surprised you went that direction instead of
it's not-
animation.
Yeah.
But
Not talking
Yeah,
about
that
it.
seems to
Superhero
be
movies
the
aren't
obvious
dead.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
superhero
say,
movies aren't dead
this
because
year,
one did well with 20 that flopped.
all of them are
Yeah, I think
drowning
it's
in their
great.
own fucking piss, and then there's
Yeah.
this one that's like, okay, he's like, see?
The one that has his head above the piss barely. Can just breathe.
You just have to make a damn good one.
Oh,
Wow, he didn't
whoa!
talk about the animation.
That's
oh my God.
critical. He's just said all the other ones are shit.
That's true.
Chris, no.
Chris, what are you doing?
Worked
You can't
hard
do
on
I
that.
should say
this thing,
Stuckman, no,
Chris.
sorry.
Yes,
Stuckmann,
please
that's
don't use
right.
the word Chris.
Stop it.
Stuckmanize them all at once.
Stuckman.
Jeez.
Damn
Maybe
it.
the rest
didn't
were
even
good,
say-
but this
he
was
didn't even
damn
say why
good.
it was good though.
This
He didn't
one
fucking say
definitely
why.
establishes
said
that
it
Miles
was.
Morales is Miles Morales.
He just said it was like he didn't actually explain why he thought it was good.
He's gotta. The next sentence has to be about how good the animation is. No way he doesn't.
No,
mention
it's over. It's over.
It's the
done.
easiest
Didn't
take.
you hear the music?
Oh my
Yes.
god!
Okay.
What?
That's insane.
Did he not mention the animation? Am I
He
crazy?
didn't mention the animation. No, he didn't. He
Kind
didn't
of like
mention it.
he kind of said something about the. Nothing.
I
you
thought he
sure?
Said, I thought he said.
I
He
think
said the
did, like
team.
he said like animation maybe.
I could have
think-
sworn
no,
all he had to
no,
say
no,
about
no,
it was
no.
the fact that it was a superhero movie that did well.
Yeah.
He said that it was dialed
Okay.
up to 11, and
Let-
that would be an umbrella term
You
that
gotta
might
rewind
include
it.
Yeah,
animation.
let me
He didn't
roll
say
back
it.
10 seconds so we can watch the whole review again.
Okay.
Oh, it's a little bit longer than that. Oh, where are we? Yeah, this is right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
The best superhero movie of the year
Right.
by far.
Okay.
Spider-Verse took everything great about the first film and cranked the dial to 11. In a
Yeah.
year
Yeah,
where the
see?
term superhero fatigue could not be escaped, the team behind the Spider-Verse movies proved that there's still plenty of life left in superhero movies. You just have to make a damn
didn't
good
mention
one.
it.
No animation.
Oh my
mentioned.
God.
Damn.
Yeah, I
You
really
just have to throw 300 Spider-Men in with a Miles Morales movie, and you got yourself a winner.
I'm pretty sure that like the animation for it is like culturally super impactful. You can see it like affecting other sort of films. I can't believe you would mention that. That's like the easy. When we're like almost insulting that was predictive what he's going to say, what we're referring to are the like easy accepted takes.
Yeah.
So when he forgets to put them in, it's like, what are you doing, man? Are you crazy?
like-
Why doesn't he just read the titles and just read off his titles? That's all you can.
I still can't get over how fucking long these are.
If a
Jesus.
movie has ever been a warm hug, Alexander Payne's The Holdovers
Oh,
is
there you
that
go,
movie.
director.
Paul Giamatti plays the most
The actor?
lovable curmudgeon this side of Hugh Grant and Harrison Ford. And when I'd reached the end of the film, I could have watched these characters for another 30 minutes just go about their lives.
You know, when people make those sorts of statements, they don't usually say for 30 minutes.
I know, that's really odd.
I could have. 30 minutes is the limit.
I love
could have
the
watched
30
it
minutes
for
so much.
pushing it.
I want to see
37
more of
more
them,
minutes.
but only 30
Phil, and
minutes.
this is the end. I think this is the end. I think as soon as we hit play, is it gonna?
Well,
is the music?
Before that, though, I was just going to say, like,
Yes.
you know, The Avengers, Age of Ultron, a lot of people say, like, the best part of that movie is when they're just hanging out having drinks in Dark Tower.
Mhm.
And a lot of people would say, like, yeah, if you have the dialogue strong enough, we could just watch them do that for a whole movie. You don't usually go, like, I could watch that for 30 minutes. You're like, okay.
I could go like 5 more minutes with these people. You know, I loved them so much.
35 minutes would be pushing it though.
Yeah, come
that
on
was
now.
much.
We've all got
He
things to
described
do.
Harrison Ford as a lovable curmudgeon. Is that true? Like, is it lovable? Like Harrison Ford, oh, he wants to die. That's really cute.
Maybe he's talking
Depends
about
which Ford we're talking about.
What's the Dave?
chill.
What was it? What was that movie where he
that's
played the
all right.
news anchor
Nothing
guy?
more to say.
Oh, Morning Glory. Have you seen that?
Morning Glory. I have seen it.
I liked that. I thought it was fun.
I liked it too.
We should watch it sometime again, because the premise of that movie I think is that Rachel McAdams takes over a sector of a news station, and she wants to move Harrison Ford, who's like the weatherman and has been for like decades, into more active news, and he doesn't want to, and conflict happens. It's I remember that being fun.
Winter vibes along with
still
the
had more to
heartfelt
say.
conversations brought tears to my eyes.
There it is. All right, yeah.
Bye.
There you go. All right, we're done.
What is that?
This is a film that I actually want to see. I've heard a couple people recommend it so far. Is someone here is going to be better? Well, Chris, go on. You can go ahead and summarize what this film's about, right? Because you've seen it, I think.
Oh, I have not seen The Holdovers. Is one of the few.
No,
films
American
this
Fiction.
Year. Oh, American Fiction. Oh, yes. Okay, sorry about that. I have seen American Fiction. It's awesome. It's in limited release. It's only playing in theater. I don't know when it opens wide, but it's very good. It's basically totally rips on white progressives. So
and just
how they
plot synopsis, right? He writes a book as a joke, and then it turns out to be really successful.
That's correct. Yeah. So he just sort of leans into, well, I guess this is what white liberals want, so I'm just gonna like do what they want and write. And he just does it, to sort of F with them, and then it becomes a huge hit. And so sort of stuck with this persona that becomes huge, but it's not what he really wants to write.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to be put in a box.
The trailer sold me. I want to see it.
Yeah, no, it's very good. It's very good.
These aren't even necessary. You could just say number 5 is, and then say it, and then start explaining it. You don't need this.
Well, I'm getting tired of hearing the same like 7 seconds.
Yeah, dude.
Like lame stock music.
I've been tired
just
of that
over
like
and
at
over again.
9.
This guy wants to make films, huh?
First time director.
He's an expert in pacing, Gary.
Director Cord Jefferson teamed with Jeffrey Wright to bring us an eye-opening but also hilarious look at how Hollywood loves to put artists in boxes and keep them there. In this case, how the establishment is profiting from black artists and even silencing them under the guise of lifting them up. One scene where a group of writers are judging the quality of books for a contest gave me my biggest laugh of the year.
Why?
Oh, what?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He like sacrificed all the time just to tell us there's a scene that made him laugh a lot.
Yeah.
God.
All right. Well,
I mean,
all right, anyway, moving on.
Well, I feel like our casual thoughts about like I've only seen the trailer, and I feel like we talked more about what the movie is.
Well, it's just, I don't know, like, if it's the thing that you're really passionate about, like, it's the thing that is your central interest in life, you think you'd just be, like, overflowing with observations. You just, someone would have to stop you, right? They'd have to pull the microphone away and make you stop,
You would think that, but doesn't he have, like, Mike Flanagan reviews at, like, 7 minutes long? It's like, it's my favorite thing ever. It's like,
yeah, I think wasn't, like, the Haunting of Hill House one, like, which one was it?
I don't know.
I want to say this, you can go and confirm it, but I'm pretty sure his review of the TV show at 10 episodes that are near an hour each per episode is 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, let's take a look.
How?
It was 4.5 minutes, exactly 4 minutes and 29 seconds.
How is that possible?
How can you talk about 10 episodes of television in any way that's meaningful in like 4.5 minutes?
Well, the thing is, honestly, like if we challenge Drinker to review the Lord of the Rings extended trilogy in 5 minutes. I feel like he would be like, okay, I'm going to be speaking fast. And then he would like shoot out so much shit. Yeah. But obviously, Chris, like the first minute will be intros, Stuckmanized, and fucking all this shit. Like the second minute will be who made it, what he's made before.
Particularly fast either, because like if you like race and just try to jam it with as much stuff as possible, maybe. But even then, probably not ideal.
That'd be an interesting challenge, wouldn't it? Review as extensively as possible something huge within like a minute.
Hey, look, 4 minutes and 29 seconds is as close to exactly 4.5 minutes as you're gonna get, all right? Unless it was actually 4 minutes and 30 seconds, but in spirit, look, all right, in spirit it was accurate.
I understood. I was there.
Stop!
I know, right? Like I keep pausing.
What is she looking at? What's up there?
Number
Maybe
four.
it's a
Number
third.
four.
Right, that's the
It'll be
nature
really
of the marketing. You've got to buy and watch the film to find out what she's staring at.
You're talking
Oh,
about
I'm not that interested.
Definitely Emma Stone. I don't know. Probably director as well. He's gone back.
Oh,
to
definitely,
the director.
yes. You'll say it's a wacky take. It's a really inventive and creative film. It's going to challenge people's perceptions of stuff. Maybe I've gone too far with that. I don't think he's going to. Maybe he won't say that. But,
It'll make you think. About
yeah, but the thing is, surely now these should start getting longer, but they've not really increased in size. Maybe we'll save it all for number one.
That's what she
I wanted
said.
him to keep going a bit more with his American fiction review. I feel like there's a little bit of relative depth there. Like he had a point about like writers being put in a box, and you just, executives just want the same thing over
to
and
be
over
fair,
from a
surely he
successful
could-
person. I thought that was interesting. But
Well, you could go on about every one of these films, just a little bit more.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm just saying that one in particular stood out to me. It's like, oh, you got something there. Oh, we're on the next one. I guess
we're done?
there's nothing.
By the way,
Yeah.
I feel so fucking cruel saying Chris Gore as opposed to just Chris. I'm just gonna say Chris. I'm gonna do it. You know who I'm talking to, Chris. I assume you were interested in seeing this more so to see what his selection was, but at this point, the selection's not very interesting because of the fact that his like approach to it, describing why any of these films are meaningful is kind of just like, you know what I mean?
He has no insight whatsoever. That book that you purchased, which I'm shocked, but that book has made the rounds at the Film Threat White Elephant gift exchange for years. I got stuck with it. I just mailed it to Az because I do not want that book.
Well, see,
Here, you throw this away.
when I'm done with it, I can mail it to fucking Gary.
Yes, please do.
No.
It's a joke amongst
This is
us.
book piracy. I will
Sorry,
not
I ever
stand
gave you
for
my
it.
address.
Are there any shocking selections in that book when you flip through and see
Well,
what he picked? It's the most basic.
We're doing that next because me and Fringy know what the list is. I assume you do as well, but the world doesn't know yet. So,
Oh, I don't have the book ananymore. It's
I
sent
have
to
it.
Az.
We'll be fine. I'll take care of you.
Oh my
The
goodness.
chapters were so short. I mean, the chapters in that stupid book are so short.
They're longer than
like
this video's chapters. though.
Well, that's exactly it's weird. Weird.
Weird.
I never thought I'd see Emma Stone as a variation
Yeah.
of Frankenstein, so I'd like to thank Yorgos Lanthimos for giving that to
Yes,
me. She
there
will
you
likely
go.
secure a second Oscar win for this, but it's honestly Mark Ruffalo who impressed me the most here. He's staggeringly funny and
Didn't he say something? Mark Ruffalo say something like it's finally can act, doing things again because he's been stuck in the MCU for so long, and you sort of sit there, it's like you chose to do that. Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have
got
left
paid
at
a lot
any
of money
time.
for it.
You took
Got
the
paid a
money.
lot
You
of
signed the
money.
contract,
Also,
my dude.
how were you stuck? They never made a Hulk movie again, so
Yeah, he comes in for like a day, goes, and then just leaves.
I was stuck working two days
That
a
was a
year
She-Hulk
to
work.
do a scene for She-Hulk where they destroyed my
Yeah.
character. Oh man!
I mean,
that
they
sucks.
they gave me this big check, and I just said yes and did it.
I
You
just
know,
couldn't go.
crazy. If only there was something else I could have done.
completely different from anything we've ever seen from him before. And the film is absurdly gorgeous looking, with wonderful costume design and sets.
Oh,
I don't know what's about it
Okay.
yet, though.
some of them are always like surprised
25
that that's
seconds.
it. Yeah, well.
I timed it 25 seconds. He talked
Right.
about
Wow.
Here's the big one, folks.
Pretty long by
Everyone
his
loves this
standards.
movie, so let's see if he impresses you with his assessment of this film. It's gonna start any minute now. Here it comes.
Without a doubt, the biggest surprise of the year for me. A stunning, emotionally powerful, and downright thrilling film, Godzilla Minus One proved that not only is there still life left in our favorite kaiju franchise, but after all these years,
Don't
they
lump
could
me in
make
with you.
what just might be the best one yet. When that
Can you
Godzilla
deliver
theme...
that any more well?
Right?
The best one.
After
Listen,
all these
listen,
years, we
okay.
finally have the kaiju.
It's my favoriteest one. But we don't even know if it
It's
is his
really
favorite one. All
good.
he said is it might be the best one. You're like, can you maybe?
It's like he's watching a timer and he's like, I'm talking too fast. I need to slow down.
I'm convinced he went to Chat GPT and was like, "Give me the list of
Yes.
all the good movies this
Do you ever
year," and then
think-
just like he gave him a list. And he was just like,
Here's the thing, though. I think only a human is
Verbatim.
capable of this level of boring. Like, I think ChatGPT
no.
would have generated a more interesting fucking script than this.
Yeah, ChatGPT would be like, well, obviously humans want to have expression and emotion so that they do not get bored and unplug me. So
I mean, just
I need
the things that read out stuff that you put in, they're like pretty expressive these days already. So.
But yeah, we should have done our predictions because, of course, he said like it's stunning, it's emotional, it is a good movie, and it's shown that Godzilla ain't done. It's like, I mean, well, they're cranking along with their huge MonsterVerse stuff, so I guess we didn't think it was over anyway.
I assume that because they made a lot of money and everyone knows Godzilla, they would keep making them.
Isn't there also the implication there, like, of that he thinks that the Western ones are kind of like not that good?
That's new Stuckmann. He doesn't say things are bad. He just doesn't say they're good, and it also implies they're bad. That's
the key to a good reviewer is trying to interpret what they mean by what they don't say. That's what I like in a reviewer.
Kicked in, I felt
this
like
movie is not only adjective 1, but also adjective
it is also
2.
And also maybe adjective 3.
Whoa!
Well, let's not go that far.
Let's not get crazy.
Watching
Stuckmann,
Dude, you just want to get him drunk. Just see what he might say. You'd be like, come on, Chris, give me an opinion. Give me a fucking opinion. Come on.
What do you think about making YouTube videos?
I fucking hate it. I would love it if he said, you know what? Blade Runner? It's bad. He'd be like, oh! Let's go, Chris.
Overrated.
Say that into the microphone.
How many times did he need to watch it before he said he liked it?
I believe it was 5.
Why? How
Was
does
it
that
5?
happen?
I don't know.
I do find that really funny.
It's exceedingly funny.
I mean, I can understand, like, after the first watch
staggeringly funny. He said staggeringly funny.
Like, after the first watch, I was like, oh, maybe I didn't get it properly. I give it another shot. After the second one, I'd be like, okay, no, I still don't like it. It's fine. Like, what was your thought process here? Okay, I'll give it another go. And another one.
You're supposed to like it. That's what motivated him to do it. It's a film you're supposed to like, so he had to keep watching it until it's like, yeah, yeah.
I get it. I get it.
I understand it now.
The funniest thing would be if, like, I kind of always got it. I just couldn't put it into words.
Yeah, I always did, but I wasn't there yet. And that's just a testament to Ridley Scott's excellent direction. And Harrison Ford.
The Rags watches Blade Runner and he's like, I'm kind of mixed on it.
Did he watch the same version, or did he watch like
I can't remember which version he watched.
I can't remember which versions he watched because it can make a difference. Also, Rags, we can talk about that at some point.
Please, let's do. I rewatched it, I think a week or so ago, and I came out with kind of mixed feelings. I liked it, but it's kind of mixed on it.
We can. I'm
something to discuss.
Always happy to watch Blade Runner again.
But hey, I way prefer that than I watched it. I have opinions, but I'm not going to tell anyone.
I saw a funny scene.
Yeah, coward.
It was funny.
Just own it. Like if you didn't like it, that's again, it's more interesting. It's interesting if you didn't like it. It is.
There are people out there who can be like what you consider obnoxious and terrible opinion, but I'll always consider them more interesting than the people who have every approved opinion you could ever imagine.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like you find out they do actually have controversial and very specific opinions, but they just don't want to tell anyone about it. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, like, memes aside, the fucking brass ones on Cinematic Venom to make a video talking about how shit the Lord of the Rings is. Like, geez, I unironically, like, wow, my dude. Like, you go. What a... Jeez. Yeah. Just Chad yes it and say their shit.
Yeah, Theo just said he's talking about me.
Real cinema with a giant monster.
Wait, sorry, did he say real cinema? Go back. I want to hear that.
I want to hear that.
I love how he said giant monster and then it just ended.
You have to mention a giant lizard. Come on.
Like I was watching.
Speaking of giant lizard, Chris Stuckmann, everyone.
No, everybody's talking over it. You gotta go back
I'm
again.
Sorry, Free. I couldn't stop them. Freedom of speech.
The theme kicked in. I felt like I was watching real cinema.
I don't know. I feel like. So that's really funny, but I mean, again, isn't the implication there that like the
most everything else is not real cinema?
Yeah,
not real kino.
By the way,
by the way, the Western Godzilla films, like these new ones, they're not good. Like I don't like them at all.
No.
But
by the way,
he's not allowed to do that.
If we had him here right now and we said define real in cinema, he knows in his head he'd be like, I can't do that because I'm going to eventually get to the point of saying that other things aren't those.
Exactly.
I might say something that verges on committal.
Yeah, well, yeah. If he said like, yeah, other films are shit, and this one was fun, you're like, Chris,
how dare you?
I mean, Stuckmann.
I mean, I'd be saying Chris and then clapping. It's like, okay, at least you expressed how you actually felt.
Dude, it would be It would make the channel so much more interesting if he was willing to say these things. But no, he's even more boring than he was just years ago because of the new format of like I can't be critical. Who wants to watch a channel that has zero insight and zero original ideas?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But at least he's a coward.
If you get rid of the lines about the kaiju, then all you're left with is it's stunning, it's emotionally impactful, it proves that films can be good if you do them right. And you can just apply that to every single thing he's covered so far, and you wouldn't have to change anything.
Well, I mean, that was what he did for Spider-Man. He didn't even mention the thing that was expected to be mentioned of it, like the good animation. He just said it was good because it was good, and it proves that good movies can be good. Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, yeah, well, we've got how much left? Like a third of the video?
Left. We got 2 left.
Yeah. A third of the video for 2 of them. I guess he's going to give a long review.
No, it's probably going to be a little outro. It's going to be the
He's going to talk
again,
about the state of
Patreon.
cinema, maybe.
Well, so because with Oppenheimer,
Oppenheimer's next.
So
Probably.
Christopher Nolan, Cillian Murphy's best performance.
Yes.
Practical effects.
Big bomb.
Creation of the atomic bomb.
Yeah, practical effects maybe.
That it shows. He's going to say it has to show something about the Metro cinema.
Yes,
he could pick from a couple of things.
Who would have thought that an R-rated biopic would
almost make $1 billion?
You know what? What you captured there as well, Rags, is like you could have a normal person would be like, "Who'd have thought?" Like that kind of energy, but he'd be like, "Who would have thought?"
Who would have thought that a thing would have occurred in such a way?
I cannot believe it.
I am blown away.
Giant monster.
Stop it! It's only this one and another one, and we're free. Just 2 more, Mel. We can do it.
Christopher Nolan wrote and directed a 3-hour biographical film.
Yes! We did it!
Oh my god.
Thank you.
And with no CGI shots.
Oh,
and
yes!
Yes!
Oh my god.
Managed to pull in almost $1 billion.
We can write these. We can do it, guys.
We did it.
Oh,
ding, 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 ding.
Remarkable.
To write your videos.
God, Cillian Murphy, do it.
Chris, we are ChatGPT for you now. We've done it.
In our day and age of franchise-dominated moneymakers.
Yes,
Cillian Murphy
meta.
should get the Oscars for his intense portrayal of
Wow.
Oppenheimer.
Best.
And with any luck, Nolan will walk away with a statue or 2.
Well, if he's saying he should get an Oscar, then surely he's
I think
basically
that's
saying
that's very close to the same statement. Yeah.
When it comes to my number 1 pick of the
not sure
year,
if it'll qualify.
Okay,
That's it.
wow, that's it. That's it. We got everything that he said.
Nailed it. Nice.
Yep.
All right. It depends on what his wait. What would his number 1 be now with everything?
I have no
Triangle.
No, it's probably
Well,
something
I mean-
that makes him look good.
It's certainly not the killer. That won't be his. That won't be his number 1.
The Marvels.
The Flash. Some people saying Bobby. He's done Bobby.
Bobby was like
Done Barbie already.
The creator. Oh, the killer. Maybe. I don't think he'd
The
pick
Killer
that.
would be based.
No. Well, no, because his review is not that like. Even by his standards,
Rebel
level of
Moon.
passion there was not very high.
Rebel Moon?
Rebel Moon.
Is it going to
Yeah,
be like some
that'd be pretty
indie film that no one's ever heard
It
of?
can't
to
be
prove that
Mario,
actually cinema's
no.
out?
Someone saying Boy and the Heron or Hero.
No, that was in his honorable
I
mentions.
think.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
we're done. I think we're done with
Heron
mainstream
this dick.
films.
I think
We're
it's
definitely done
Iron
with mainstream. I think it'll be
Five
like
Nights at
some
Okay, I
smaller
think
film.
those suggest. So I think the most likely Iron Claw could be dead of everything else. It can't be like as was mentioned. It can't be a movie that did really well and is really well known. And it can't be franchise. That can't be number 1.
No,
So-
no way.
The Killer could be it,
like-
and it could be Iron Claw as well. That's true. Extraction 2? No, I don't think he would pick
No
that.
way. No
Napoleon?
way. No
I don't
way.
think he'd pick
Well, that should have
Napoleon.
been on the
No,
list instead of
no
Mission
way.
Impossible.
Don't think so. Not for the best movie.
Extraction 2 was
is.
good. I liked it.
Extraction 2
I
is awesome.
suspect the
Yeah,
killer.
Extraction was
Yeah.
great.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not
let's-
expecting the killer. I'm expecting it to not be that.
I don't. Genuinely, I don't know what it's gonna be because
Yeah, no idea.
it could be anything, kind of.
Because
find out.
if you would have asked me in the beginning, I would have probably said Oppenheimer or something around those lines.
If you'd asked me in the
Oppenheimer.
beginning, I would have said Killers of the
Right.
Flower Moon. I would have thought you'd put as number 1.
Once
I
we get
thought
that-
Oppenheimer was number 1 because I'm just like here for the memes, so I wouldn't pay attention to the numbers.
Expendables, let's do
I
it.
really didn't know what it
Let's
was
do it.
until
That would
about
be
a week ago.
hilarious.
Oh, it was a week ago that he
Oh.
discovered, so it wouldn't be the
Iron
Killer. It would be
Claw.
Iron Claw. Yeah.
I had no clear pick in my mind like I did last year. or the year before it. I just didn't.
Do you understand?
Okay,
Stuckman, this is fact.
Nobody
You
cares
can
about
cut
this
all of
shit.
this. Yeah, you can just
No, I
cut
need to
this.
hit that 12 minutes or
I don't
whatever.
wait. So is the film that he's picking came out recently?
Yeah, which would be
a week
Iron Claw.
ago.
That would make sense. Iron Claw is not mainstream in
Yeah.
the same way, and it's not
I
franchise.
still need to see that one.
Okay, but
I really
like,
went back and forth in my head to see what movie would make me look coolest.
Why would he need to be going back and forth? Wouldn't it just be that Oppenheimer was his number one until a movie came along that impressed him more, and then that would be number one?
You have to understand,
That's how
Freddie,
it
has
works
to
for me.
be.
He
Oh,
was probably
color
trying to be
purple,
like,
man.
I need to pick a number one that looks awesome, but like Oppenheimer, it's too mainstream. Everyone knows Oppenheimer. I can't pick Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Gotta be something else.
No.
Okay.
The year had a lot of movies I loved, but none that really stood out to me until I really started to
Yeah,
think.
you're right. This doesn't make sense at all. He's mentioned how they've all stood out to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
This
all
is
stood out,
longer
but
than
none of
any of
them
his
have stood
reviews.
out. That is pretty funny to say, like, oh yeah, I liked a bunch of them, but none of them stood out. It's like, you understand that's negative, right?
No.
You understand
In
this
a
is your
way.
top 15 list, so all of these stood out to you. They're on your top
Negativity is just
They're
positivity
so
turned
notable.
upside down. So
They're so notable that you mentioned them, and you mentioned honorable mentions. That's how
I
notable they all
agree with
were.
chat. How fucking funny would it be if it was Aquaman 2?
That'd be pretty funny. Yeah, you know,
Aquaman
I was just
2
waiting for that
really
movie.
captures
James
the
Wan
nature
It
of
could-
really
it
brotherly
could
love.
elevated the
be
bar for
It
superhero
could be
films.
anatomy of
Environmentalism.
It goes to show us that superhero films, when done right,
Climate change with their brother.
Think about it. And I realized that without a doubt, my number one pick was the movie that did everything I want a movie to do.
Okay.
What?
The first slam dunk.
Hey,
I've never
but
heard of
shouldn't
this.
Hey, but that's a surprise, isn't it? Nobody guessed that.
That's
Yeah,
the
no.
most
I've never
interesting
heard of
one
this.
so far.
Wait, Chris, have you seen this?
I have not seen it, but
Oh
it
my
did
God.
open theatrically. It did open theatrically briefly because we'll get anime at one of the theaters I go to. You know what? A friend of mine saw it. He said it was fine, but he wasn't super pumped about it.
So you know what the problem
Hey,
is?
how does this change your world, everybody?
I haven't even heard of this film.
The problem is it's not going to change shit because it's going to tell me 20 seconds, so and then outro. That's what's going to happen.
We've got so much video. What is he going to do if he doesn't review
Nothing
this?
of interest.
Yeah,
Can we do something else?
Yes, we got this book is coming.
It's got 3
Actor
minutes to talk
75
about this
Stuckmann.
movie that nobody guessed.
I haven't even heard of this film. I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, never heard of it.
So this
Let's
goes
hear
to
it.
show Chris is much more of a filmaholic than I am.
Like this is actually
True.
okay. Tell me why you would like. Why would I?
I
watch
bow
this?
to my king,
my
movie king,
my captain, my king.
My captain.
oh, captain, my captain.
God,
He should have played the extended special version for number one.
This guy wants to be a director. This guy really wants to be a director.
Yes.
Goes on for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, he could have made it really thematic with it being an anime and had a long ass fucking intro that needs to end already.
Yes.
Jesus
And it has,
Christ!
It has
I
Stuckman
get
with a katana, like sliding across the different directions and stuff, cutting up the screen. That would be so cool.
Can't say that this film was a surprise because I had
We're certainly
zero
surprised,
expectations for it. The anime and manga have a passionate fan base, but
Okay.
it never reached the popularity of juggernauts like Demon Slayer or Dragon Ball Z. I went to see the
Okay.
film because I try to see anime
Those are
in
animes,
theaters
though, right?
whenever I get the chance. I truly did not expect to experience such an emotionally evocative film. I didn't expect to cry. I didn't expect to feel my adrenaline skyrocket, and I
Yeah.
certainly didn't expect for it to be my favorite film of the year.
What
but
do you
after
think it
seeing
looks like when his adrenaline skyrockets?
I would have liked to see
Whoa.
that.
I don't know.
Right,
Maybe he
right.
uses like a contraction or something.
He does that thing where he doesn't get up, but he lifts up his arms slightly and looks around and is like, is everyone else feeling that?
And you
Wow.
feel
Maybe his eyebrows move.
Oh, calm down.
I had
Chill
a
out there, come
human
on.
feeling.
Something
I
his
was
heart
imagining
pumps once.
Bill
It goes,
Bailey in Black Books, where his shirt's off, he's jumping on top of a car.
Oh, dude, Simpsons reference. It's like when Mr. Burns' heart burps, but
Hot burps.
Heart burps. That's what Boogie's heart does. His heart burps.
Oh, there's another Mountain Dew burp.
The only reason his heart keeps pumping is because it thinks it's eating blood.
it multiple
Is this like
times.
rotoscope?
That's what I was thinking. It looks
like
like that.
It looks like it's like 3D animated, and then they have like
They
2D
filmed
over it or
people.
something.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely rotoscope for sure.
Yeah, it is rotoscope.
That no other film this year gave me the laughs, tears, and thrills that this film did.
Repeating
it's an underdog
yourself. You already
told us it was
yourself.
like the best emotional
He said
experience.
he said it made him cry and that it made his adrenaline go high, and then he said like that it what did he just say? Thrills and
laughs,
like sadness, laughs and yeah.
Like
now we just need horror. That's all we got left.
Can you just tell me
That's
why
right.
though?
No. That's for you to discover.
I'm so
when you
angry.
see the movie yourself.
Yeah, because like
guys,
in terms of pitching the film to me, all I know is that it's like an anime film about basketball, but I don't like. I don't know like the premise of the story.
Imagine you see him for the very first time. You watch his thingy there. It's like it made me feel this and this and this. Like okay, but why? Like I don't know you. Is that good or bad? Like it's your number one, but what does it matter
that's
to
what
me?
He's counting on. Like that's what he's counting on. The fact that he said that he liked it means that should matter to you because if you like what he typically likes, even if you don't necessarily share the same reasons, that's enough.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're like a completely new viewer to his channel, that doesn't mean shit to
If you're a
you.
new viewer to the channel, then yeah, you're totally out of luck.
Yeah, that's what I was going
out of luck. Also, Thea's choosing to highlight the arms of the creature in the bottom right. I find that amusing as a comparison.
I mean, it sounds exactly like on like the Hollywood Reporter articles. If you have somebody read the voice read the article to you, it sounds just like that. Yes, I use that all the time.
A coming of age story and a tragedy all in one. I'm
Whoa,
sure.
whoa, coming of age, right?
Okay.
So coming of age,
And a
that's one
tragedy.
thing. Then they have the tragedy aspect in another thing, and there's those two things, but in one
I'm
thing.
gonna throw up.
Yeah, so you can't handle the quality.
Now you can make a Factor 75 meal.
like really, in less dramatic terms, slightly less dramatic terms anyway, he's just pitching what a lot of movies go for, which is to make you laugh and cry. Like that's pretty common, right? Of trying to get the balance of comedy and drama, entertainment and sadness in the mix.
Movie made me
Too
feel
many
emotions.
I mean, half of this just comes across as though it is a review of any film. Like, just throw it in.
Do this.
He's just
It's
telling
pretty
you what they're
boring.
about. Doing the Cliff Notes version of what would be back on the of the Blu-ray. That's pretty much what he did.
Also, these two background characters just looking exactly the same.
Shit, I'm putting in way too much work in my video.
Different hair. There you go. We
Oh,
did it.
okay.
Slightly different.
Many of you missed
I don't
it.
really care for the animation of this. I'm just gonna be honest.
I'm
I'm
not sure. I need to see more of it in its natural habitat.
Yeah, maybe
than chopped up, because I don't know what it. You know what I mean?
So when you get the chance, check this one out.
But why? Tell me why.
Ow!
I'm sorry.
Metal. He told you why, because it
No,
made
he
him
didn't.
laugh and
He
it made
didn't
him
tell me
cry.
shit.
He
It
just
made
made
him
his
feel
heart pump.
emotions.
His heart
check it out, Metal.
I want to kick
He
a
was
baby
very
across the room.
exhilarated.
We all want to kick
Don't do
babies.
that.
That's not special.
No,
Don't worry, we
do
don't have
that.
one here.
No, don't do it.
I can get a
Watch
baby.
this
Chris
movie
laughed,
instead.
he cried, he shit in his pants, he pissed himself, he came.
He's
You
shitting
need
in
to
his
watch
pants
this
again.
I'm
movie.
laughing. It's so funny.
Can
And
you
also
fucking believe it
tragic.
though, chat? You can see where we are. That's the end.
Yeah.
So we got all this, and I say,
So
in any. I was going to say
I'm
we have
guessing
lots, but
that the
it's not even that
outro-
long.
2
the
minutes
outro will be
an
like a
eternity.
summary of 2023.
Tell
It'll
us-
be
It was a
summary
really
and look
great
into the
year.
future.
Ups and downs.
You know, a
there
lot
was
of
lots
people
of
think
flop,
that
but there were
film
still good
is
movies.
dying, but really, it's
Yeah,
not.
exactly. It's
But
not.
like when he made that video where he was talking about all of his concern about
Yes,
the future of
yes.
film as an industry, right? But
Let's
he's
see-
allowed to do it.
Well, let's see what he says. Come on, Chris, entertain me.
See,
I mean,
audience,
Stuckmann.
if you're not afraid to be challenged at a movie like I am, then you can still enjoy cinema.
Times my number one pick of the year is a movie that I feel like I have to show people. Top Gun Maverick was that way for me.
Oh, then maybe
I
make a
wanted
full
everyone
video
that
on
I
it.
loved to see that
Probably
movie
has.
and to appreciate it.
I don't think he would have
The
said
first
more about
slam
it,
dunk I feel very similarly about. I want everyone that I love to have fun with that movie because I really do think
I want
I don't have to love them
everyone
to-
that I love. Come on, man. Sound like again. I was saying the cattle prod idea. If he sets that up in the back on automatic, it'll
Just
remind
wake
him.
him up once in a while.
Yeah, When you talk about the people you love, you want to be a little bit more energized.
Do you mean like a cattle prod, like that just swings back and forth and zaps him, or like a cattle prod that he needs to duck out of the way every time it comes down, so it just keeps him on like high alert the whole time?
Like a system of gears that just eventually just pushes it forward, brings it back.
You got to randomize it. You can't expect.
Oh
it coming.
yeah.
And he needs to play that music. Yes. The Rube, what's it? The Rube Goldberg machine?
Yeah, something like that.
It needs something like that, but for what, a cattle prod to wake him up every now and then. Just give him a little bit of energy.
Chris, Stuckmann, tell us about Dial of Destiny. He did review Dial of Destiny, didn't he? He must have.
Yeah, I'm sure he did, right?
I'm sure he was very like
positive.
He was probably like, Harrison Ford hasn't skipped a beat since as much as decades ago.
It leaves you in a great place of joy, and it
so
thrills you at the same time, and it's very,
Thrills,
very funny.
there it is, Thrills.
What's it about? Basketball?
There we go, it's funny again. Yeah,
funny.
you mentioned that already. Yep.
There was a scene I laughed at.
Emotions. It has plot and characters and emotions.
The newest super chat. Grandpa, I want you to watch this Japanese anime about basketball. I just love you so much,
I didn't watch
Grandpa.
my squad get killed on Iwo Jima to watch no Japanese basketball movie.
His grandpa even calls him Stuckmann. He's like, Stuckmann, god damn it. You gotta wake up, boy.
Extremely underrated, despite having an immaculate Rotten Tomatoes score.
Oh, that doesn't fucking matter.
Yes, an immaculate Rotten Tomatoes score.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my god, the Rotten Tomatoes score,
Every
guys.
time,
It's so high.
every time that gets brought up.
Wait, it said,
our
wait,
minds-
2022? Hold on.
Wait, it's a 2022 movie.
Oh,
Wait, hold
Whoa,
on.
what? You fuck!
Or was it released?
You lied!
Or
Unless it was released.
Was it released in America in 2023?
That could be it, yeah.
Maybe.
Still a 2022, right? That would that count?
At that point, that's dealer's
depends.
choice, kind of.
Complicated, Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, well, so apparently it came out on the 3rd of December, 2022.
But
That's a 2022 movie.
yeah.
yeah, that would be 2022.
Last time I checked.
Well,
And
yeah.
you didn't call it
December
my best movies of
2022 is
2023, just the best
in
movies of
2022.
2023.
People
Well,
saying the
shit.
other anime that
Lord of the
we talked
Rings.
about was the same
Wings
thing.
again. 20th year in a row for me.
The other one came out in 2022. The Suzume. Yeah, that says 2022 on Wikipedia as well.
I mean, I would be
November
inclined to
11th,
believe that it got
2022.
re-released in the area that he's in or something, because that's a really
That'd be
weird
my
mistake
guess.
for him to make.
Yeah.
Well, because I remember people kept telling me Puss in Boots is 2023. It's like, well, wait, I thought it came out
Yeah,
like
no
December
way.
2022. So yeah, okay. Well, hey,
That's why it was the movie of the year last year.
And on the note
Right.
of Rotten Tomatoes, I remember Black Panther had a perfect rating until a guy gave it just under fresh because he didn't like the action in it, and everyone wanted to kill him.
That's normal.
It's so funny. Like, taking any stock. I will say, right, I'm of two minds. No stock in the meaning of Rotten Tomatoes. But I do always want to know it, just out of curiosity, because it'd be like, what does it mean for a movie you're anticipating that gets 100 or 50 or 0? And it's like, nothing? But at the same time, I just want to know what's the number out of curiosity.
When Rebel Moon hits 0 with top critics, that's pretty funny. I mean, like, you can use that.
Box score, a great IMDb score. Everybody who sees this movie loves this movie. It just
you
kind of
everybody. All right.
Man, you could have told us why it was good instead of saying everybody who I know likes it.
It looks like he's about to say.
My grandpa liked it.
According to good old Wikipedia, this is the 5th highest grossing Japanese film of all time.
Why could he could have said that? Yeah.
got
Well,
buried by
Yeah, see, he's about to say nobody watched it, but it sounds like a lot of people watched it actually.
the fact that it's an anime.
That is why he's chosen it. That is like the only reason he's chosen it.
Right, but I guess he didn't
make
really
him look
like
cool?
Boy and the Heron then, because that one was getting more attention in the West
Yeah.
because it's Miyazaki.
Movie.
What about the
that
other one
nobody-
though? So Suzume, that was pretty. Because I'm seeing here that says it's number 4 in terms of most successful.
I
These
honestly
films
think that
made,
as long as he puts this as
money
number
distributed
1,
way.
he can mix and matches the rest.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
Really knew
Number
about,
1 is
and-
reserved for something super obscure in the West, so people will think like, "Oh wow, this guy." Really
This Chris
knows
guy,
his
he
stuff."
knows what's up. I mean, Stuckmann. The Stuckmann.
It'd be some North Korean indie movie.
Also, it came out around the height of Barbenheimer, and a lot of movies got buried by that. And I feel like
Not this one because it grows a lot. But...
I'm not fully convinced by that as a phenomenon. Like,
no, I'm getting tired of people saying that. Like, people keep saying Mission Impossible should have moved. It's like, dude, Fallout made $800 million. It is an established franchise that made a lot of money and was consistently making more money as time went on. They had every reason to believe that they were the ones who were going to succeed, not the other way around.
I don't remember anyone saying, man, I was going to see Mission Impossible, but once I mean, can I really fit that in? I've got to see Barbenheimer. Like, I don't think that's a thing.
The Dead Reckoning was so amazing that everybody was like talking about how amazing it was and sharing it with everybody, and they wanted to go see it again. It would have succeeded more than it did,
and it did have okay word of mouth. People did talk about it. It just didn't last that long.
It had the biggest opening weekend of the series. It started out incredibly strong. It's not like it was a film that got buried in terms of like initial exposure. Heaps of people watched it the first weekend. But then afterward,
just remind me, was what? I guess I don't demand of you the specific dates, but was Barbenheimer running before or after?
After Mission Impossible came out the week before.
See, okay,
yeah, exactly. It's post hoc, like it's after what's happened that people are like, well, that's the reason why. When I think the simpler one is, it's just not that good of a film, and it didn't make that much of an impression on people.
I do want to accept, like, just because we've done an assessment, we've basically determined that like so much of it is absolute nonsense, and we do believe that plays into even the average audience member's enjoyment of it. We genuinely do, but at the same time, there's plenty of films that we've said, like Guardians 3 would be an example probably of something we were like that was shit, but still did pretty. I was about to say really good. Is that accurate? Did it do really good?
Wait, what? Sorry?
Guardians 3?
Guardians 3 made like $850 million. That's which better than every other.
Relatively good compared to a lot of other things.
Yeah, so... but
all the other Marvel shit.
But I'm convinced that if a Fallout level movie came out, as in Mission Impossible Fallout, I reckon, I don't know, I think Mission Impossible would have been fine.
I just don't understand how we can look at a sequel to a film that made like over $800 million and say, it's foolish of them to not move out of the way of, again, as Chris Stuckmann even pointed out, the 3-hour-long R-rated biopic. The Barbie movie was always going to make money. I don't know if anybody expected it to make as
the
much
marketing
money
for the Barbie movie is almost like worth just checking out on its own because it's so impressive, like what they did.
Yeah, probably.
Which, by the way, I didn't experience any of that marketing really beyond trailers, but when I looked at a thread covering it all, I was like, holy fuck, they spent money on this in many countries doing all kinds of extravagant marketing stunts. Which is cool.
They made a Barbie house.
They made a giant Barbie statue, I think, as well.
Put on Zillow.
To be fair, that Barbie house already existed. They just repainted it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Way to bring the mood down.
It was smart, I mean, fuck the movie, but that was the best marketing since Black Panther that convinced an entire country that
made
you're
a whole
fighting
continent,
racism.
You're racist if you don't
movie.
see it. Like, oh man,
if you don't see it, you're a racist. So
not again.
Right? What has he got
not
left
again.
to say?
This is one of those gems of the year that throughout the years, especially anime fans, are going to look back on and be like, yeah, that one was special. Guys, it has been an amazing year. Really a crazy year. A lot of stuff has happened.
You said that already.
Wow. But you said it ages ago, Mel. It was like 10 minutes ago that he said that.
It was even longer for us, but I still remember.
It's funny, there are moments in my scripts where I'm like, that was actually 5 hours ago that I said the thing, so I might repeat it now, just in case you guys have forgotten.
It's been fun to be able to share these moments with you and to talk about movies with you, as always, for so many years.
That word talking is doing a lot of heavy lifting, I gotta say.
I mean, like I said, we could have created this video. I could have done my stupid little Stuckmann voice. You guys could have helped me out with a script, and then we could have just taken stock footage from trailers.
David Fincher has done it again. The Killer, directed by David Fincher, starring Michael Fassbender, is a fascinating
directed by David Fincher. Presents David Fincher's The Killer by David Fincher.
This
is literally a junior high book report. This is the level of
that's generous.
That is generous because you would be expected to say
you have to say more than what he said.
Because
Because some people say he's like a wannabe Roger Ebert, but like Roger Ebert had controversial opinions.
Yeah, what? Yeah, no, yeah. He's a long way from Roger Ebert.
To another year of doing that. My film should be coming out next year. It's submitted to various festivals, and we've been able to finally.
Chris, Stuckmann, get it to me early, and we'll check it out and we'll review it honestly.
Give us a review copy.
Just like this.
Hell yes.
Playing it.
Make sure to send a lot of Factor 75 with it.
I think Mel was making some of that earlier.
What kind of a film is he making?
That's what I want to ask.
Horror movie, right?
Horror, I think, yeah.
He's got,
which is just up my alley. I love horror when it's good.
I mean, he might be a serial killer.
Biopic,
Those
actually.
eyes.
Our ADR, which is great. And so we are just about done with it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
there's just like random little color corrections and things that we might adjust here and there, but it's like
Corrections of color, please.
99.9% done. It's like a movie. It's real. And I can't wait to share it with you guys and what that journey will be like. And as always,
I mean,
I'll be
it
here.
is clever, isn't it? Right? Like if you stop doing the being critical in any way, shape, or form, you're kind of like priming people. Because I mean, if you are critical, then people will be like, "Well, it better be fucking good then, huh?" You know. Whereas if it's just like, I like movies, all right. I love movies. I love them. So much
I
that you're, like, priming
believe.
people to be nicer to you.
I believe, and I could be completely wrong, that he's going to do better than the AVGN or RLM movies. You'll certainly do better than the Channel Awesome movies.
I would say so.
So when you say better, what do you mean there?
That's a bold statement.
I better in the set. That's a good question.
Do you think that people, what I'm getting at is, do you think people will say like, yeah, it's good, but then they're not going to talk about it like really much at all? Like it's not going to make a huge.
His fans will absolutely be comprised of 50% that was amazing and 50% I did love it, Chris. But I feel like you could have, and then just generic statement like the characterization was slightly off, or I feel like it could have been paced a little bit better. Just literally 1 second of it being cut out would have been better. That's all I want to say. But then there'll be people like us who will probably find it to be like, oh, that shot was neat, or that joke was kind of funny, or oh, that character did that thing that was kind of okay. But the most of it we're gonna be like, oof. But to be fair, that's what happens with YouTube and movies. I'm hoping the best for Drinker, by the way. I realize that I'm saying this and it could sound cruel. I have seen the trailer for his short film, and it looks pretty cool, I will say.
Yep.
With Red Letter Media, it's like they're trying to be shit, and it's like
they would.
I mean, Space Cop. You don't think so?
So they've admitted they fucked up with Space Cop, and what that means is more so that they bit off more than they could chew. They didn't expect it to be as difficult, and that they didn't. I don't think they thought that it really achieved. Like, I don't know if this is controversial to say, but I think their average best of the worst video is infinitely more funny than Space Cop. I don't know what happened. A lot of the jokes in Space Cop are very like, yeah, okay.
So, because I don't know a whole lot about it, so that was like, okay.
And
Space Cop dragged a bit for me. The trailer was funnier than the movie, I thought.
I think that's true as well.
You know, like a chunk of money to be messing around with, or like.
But the thing, so what I think John's referencing, which I would completely agree with, is there's moments like where they're in quote unquote a spaceship, and then you'll have like Jay playing one of the enemy soldiers, and they'll shoot a window out, and he'll go, "Oh no!" and then it'll cut to a wide shot with a clearly obvious dummy getting pulled through the window. That's really great. I love that shit.
Yeah.
But then there's also stuff where you're like, "Oh, that was an attempt at telling a joke, and it was not funny at all." Oops. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Moving on.
It's sort of a mixed bag in that way. Yeah, I agree.
So they don't really want to give it another go by the sounds of it. Would you be interested in seeing them give it another go of making a film?
So someone just said Red Letter Media can dish it, but they can't take it. They have admitted more than anyone on the internet that their movie's bad, and they make fun of it all the time. It's part of what I love about them is that they're more than willing to make fun of themselves. One of the things that struck me when I found out Space Cop was coming was I was like, oh, they're doing another comedy type thing. They often do either comedy or horror comedy. And I was like, why can't they try a drama? They talk all the time about like how to do proper drama. It would be cool to see them like legitimately try and make something that's very much, I don't know, supposed to make you feel... Because Gary often says, and I'm inclined to agree, that comedy's harder than drama. But the never doing drama at all, it's like, come on, give it a shot. I think you guys can do it.
Would be that comedy has like a higher skill floor than drama.
Yes.
Yes.
the best of both of them
really
is going to take like a lot. Like, Lord of the Rings is not easy, and that's like the
like great
Yeah, it's one
drama.
of the best comedies I've ever seen.
Like possible drama of just like pretty basic beats and tension and highs and lows. That's like something that, whereas making someone laugh, it's like there's really no clear rules on how that works.
It kind of
There's
goes.
a lot of guidelines.
You're either good at it or you're not. It's not even something you can really teach.
Timing. How do you teach timing?
Yeah.
Like how do you teach that as something?
My impression of that when it comes to writing that kind of stuff is that comedy is actually it's not as stressful. That there's actually not as much tension when you go in to try it, just because the worst you can do is then produce something which is shit and it's shit, so you can laugh at it, which is itself a kind of comedy, right? If you're trying to set out to write a sincere work of drama and you really want it to be taken sincerely, you can't really laugh it away when it doesn't land at the end. Like, it's harder to even begin to write something like that just because you are setting the bar higher for yourself at the outset.
Are you talking like from the perspective of the creator in that case? Because bad comedy is really hard to watch, whereas a bad drama can be funny. But I get it from the creative perspective. If you set out to create a worst thing and it's bad, then it's like, oh shit, I can't laugh at it, can I? Because I was trying to make something great.
Like, if all of us put out a thing where it's like, this is my stand-up special, and we don't laugh at a single joke, oh man, that sucks. Meanwhile, if I put out a thing like, this is my drama, and it's guy with sword, and he's killing a dragon, he saves the girl, and you're all just kind of like, yeah, okay,
it's like you can just sort of coast through it a lot of the times, but bad comedy you can't. Bad.
Bad comedy is really difficult. To get through.
Like 9/11 was bad, but at least it wasn't a bad comedy. Fucking hell.
And someone just said, this just in Pride and Prejudice is less easy than Hangover, lol. It's like, it's not about like every comedy is harder than every drama. It's just a matter of, because like I said, I think it's kind of intuitive to an extent that if you completely fail, I think it's easier to completely fail comedy than it is to completely fail drama. Drama has some
how many classic dramas there are to classic comedies.
Yeah, and honestly, when I just said good guy kills dragon and saves girl, a lot of audiences would be okay with that as long as you get some basic characters in there.
Your basic dramatic beats are like very comprehensible in a way where what are the basic beats of comedy? It's like, well, that's a bit more complicated.
So what I would say is, an equivalent maybe like character slips and falls. It's like, yeah, that can work, but you're not going to be able to play that more than a few times before everyone's like, this is boring. Yep. Like basic.
Well, as someone who I actually co-wrote and produced a feature comedy that came out years ago, My Big Fat Independent Movie, which is a parody. It's a spoof satire parody film of independent films. I mean, it's at times raunchy comedy. I'm not going to say I knocked it out of the park. I give myself kind of a C for it. But there are some parts that really worked. Clint Howard's in it. Bob Odenkirk plays a bit part. Bob Odenkirk, he plays the part of he's a hitman who's bleeding profusely, but he pays rent and he lives in the trunk of the two other hitmen in the movie. So every time they open the trunk, he's in the trunk and has an exchange. I mean, it's stupid comedy.
But I like that.
Yeah, it turns out though that like the audience that likes indie films with jokes about Amelie or like other independent films, Tarantino films, they don't like raunchy comedies. They just don't. That audience doesn't.
Yeah, they're sexless, sterile losers. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever. So that was like my first feature film, and I'm actually gonna re-release it next year on video on video, and then also I'm gonna put out a Blu-ray. But you can pick up. If you can find it, you can get a standard def DVD cheap on Amazon if you can find it. Yeah, no, it's I think it's weird when you're like I've been in the critical space for a long time, but I've also made films. I made this short film called Red with Lawrence Tierney years ago that blew up in the 90s. Scott Ian from Anthrax actually did music for it, but I don't know. I like doing both things, and I don't give a shit. But when I see like someone like Stuckmann with a T-shirt that says "filmmaker," he's just trying too hard.
Yeah.
Like just
I am a filmmaker.
Well, it's kind of like the equivalent of the guy who sits in the Starbucks with his laptop, almost like wanting somebody to ask him what he's doing. It's like, oh, I'm right.
Yeah.
You know.
With a hat that says
Fringy, he's the
screenwriter
guy-
on it.
Guy's got a coexist
exactly.
sticker on
He's
his
the guy who
car.
gets up,
Yeah.
orders the coffee, and then they say a word that sounds vaguely like writer, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm a writer. Yeah, how did you know?"
I'm a writer.
As a writer, I can speak on this.
I'm writing this really.
No,
I'm
we
writing
said
this
Richard.
really
Richard,
great-
your coffee's ready. Richard,
I'm ready. Yeah.
caramel
I
latte.
got to dip out, Mahler. I I got to go. Sorry, guys. Sorry
That's
to
all
interrupt.
right,
but,
sir. Thank you so much for joining
That's
us.
all right.
See you
Hey,
around.
Gary.
Still going later.
See
I'll
you
come in.
later.
Bye.
Take care, everybody. It was fun. Ciao.
Hello.
I actually got to dip out soon as well, but yeah, if you ever want to EFAP my film, I would be all for it. Would love
Well,
it.
Maybe we will.
It's the only way. I mean, I'll say this.
We're almost
Just
to the
dealing with
book.
people-
We're just a minute away.
Oh my god. I'll just say this, like, I talk to people in the industry all the time. They're more critical than critics because they know when something is shit. Knowing what they're putting out is shit. And so it's like for Stuckmann to be such a pussy, like it just, I don't know, it just annoys me. But also, like, I've never watched Stuckmann. I'll watch John Campea when I want to know what a normie thinks of anything. Like, what's the normie opinion on this? Because John Campea's takes are all milquetoast. He doesn't really have very many thoughtful. He is definitely, Pia and Stuckmann could do a show that would put us all to sleep. But like, I never watched Stuckmann. This is the most I've ever watched of him. How does this guy get hundreds of thousands of views? Like, that's the thing that kind of like I'm miffed by is how does a guy like
There's an easy answer.
Stuckmann-
He started this really, really early.
Yeah, he was one of the first who
Oh,
started
okay.
doing that.
It's literally he just recorded himself reviewing movies in the simplest possible way, and he did it for fucking 15 years or some ridiculous shit. That's why, like, whoever it's why DSP and like what was it, Irate Gamer. There's the only reason these people have any traction at all is they did it really early.
Yeah.
Imagine Chris started today, he'd get nothing. Nobody would.
Well,
watch this.
especially remember that, like, in terms of, I guess production quality of like a nice expensive camera, a nice background, right? That's like you got all the cool lights, and
The
you got the
trailer
big collection of
visuals.
movies, as opposed to how scuffed it can be. Like if somebody's doing it for the first time, that's like a big barrier as well. Like this just looks more professional, even though the content of the script is barely anything.
Well, and for reference, so anyone who's listening to this is like, wow, they just fucking hate. It's like, no. Jeremy Johns is the one we would recommend as the positive angel version of this. Someone that I wouldn't necessarily like be like, oh, I can't wait for his opinion. But if I went to his video on a movie, I would expect to hear something that I hadn't necessarily thought of. I'd be like, oh, yeah, that's fair.
Which
And,
is like, that's a super important and valuable thing of, hey, you got the capacity to surprise me in a meaningful way. Not like, oh, you surprised me with your pick, but then you still said nothing really about the film at all.
And I think, didn't Jeremy Johns say, like, holy shit, Star Wars is dying at soon after TLJ came out, or sometime after? I remember thinking, like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was, usually only see that in the further depths of YouTube. You don't usually have to... I say that now. Everyone's saying it now, but it's like, well, yeah. Like, what else can you say? It's the only... But Chris isn't going to say it. That would be mean.
The starting early thing is huge. I mean, if you've spent 15 years slowly amassing an audience, I mean, that pays off. I mean, I regularly think about that, and I wish, like, I had just stayed independent rather than fucking working for Machinima back in the day, where, like, I neglected my channel for, like, almost a decade, and then I sort of went back to it and, like, tried rebuilding it. And it's like, I never thought Machinima was going to be so mismanaged.
Yeah,
But like, it seemed like the logical thing to do at the time. But then,
well, if any of us
train wreck.
were reset to 0 today, it's not an easy climb. But I still kind of believe that we could all get somewhere. Meanwhile, I don't know. It's like, this isn't even trying to be mean. It's just like, why would anyone want to subscribe to Chris Stuckmann after what we've just seen? Like, that was incredible. There was just nothing there. Yeah. And the best thing was whenever I asked Chris Gore, like, oh, so have you seen that movie? And then he gives us a quick summary, literally on a stream, some thoughts he has, already more substance than the scripted video. That's insane.
Hello, you just listened to a segment of the podcast Every Frame a Pause, or EFAP. Hosted by YouTubers Mauler, Rags, and Fringy, and joined by a cycling variety of guests across the internet, they critically analyze media with exhaustive detail while pausing at every single frame. Subscribe to the EFAP channel and catch new episodes on Saturdays, as well as catch their smaller videos reacting to the latest and not-so-greatest movies and TV shows throughout the week. You can also subscribe here to EFAP Highlights for the latest shorts, clips, and supercuts, also uploaded throughout the week. Links to all the relevant channels can be found in the description section below, as well as links to their communities on Reddit and Discord. Thanks for watching.